Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We've got a great show lined up. I'm sort of chuckling because I'm looking at the weather. The high today is predicted for 92, and I said, that is high. So I started looking back at my notes. The last time, August the 15th, they had a 90, and way back July 10th, when the National Weather Service predicts up in the 90s, it's going to be hot. So, of course, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. The low is going to be 72. That's a 20-degree span right there. That's a good low at 72 in August. So that's good, but it's interesting to see. They don't predict 90s much along the coast, really, about a couple times a month. Water temperatures drop back down 2 degrees at 86.4. River readings. Taking a look at our river readings this morning. Apalachicola, Bluntstown, staying pretty steady right there, 6.1. Got a little bit of a drop to it, and may drop some more this weekend. And looking at the Choctawhatchee at Caryville, as we predicted earlier this week, it's going to be rising. It's not a huge rise, but it's a steady rise, 7.4, and still going up. It looks like going up for the weekend, too. And we've got our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Have a high tide this morning, good morning tides, 7:49, and then a low 6:28. Good range today and tomorrow on through the weekend. That's going to be some good tidal fishing. Marine forecast coming out of the northeast at about 7. So we're looking good overall as far as our weather. It's going to be hot in the middle of the day, but these early morning fishing is going to be good. I've got some good pictures to show you a little bit. Let's take our break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Now, coming up this weekend, don't forget, we've got 2 big tournaments coming up. One in Mexico Beach and one down here at Watson's Landing. One in Mexico Beach, the Artificial Reef Association, Big King Mackerel Tournament, the Captain's Party tomorrow night, and then the weigh-in is Saturday afternoon. Run down there and watch the weigh-in if you get a chance. And the one here locally, here in town, would be the Seasons of Hope. We've showed the poster quite a bit, and it's going to be down here. I want to go in and show you what they're really pushing the raffle tickets, and they got something new now. They're having a guided gator hunt. You can buy a raffle ticket on a guided gator hunt. Now that's cool. You don't get that much on raffle tickets anymore. You don't get that much as a present or anything, but this is really good. And this is from Michael. I won't read the whole thing, but if you want to buy raffle tickets for the guided hunt and the guitar, the custom-made knife, the 8-foot power pole, that's a really good. All those raffle tickets you can purchase through a line. Okay, you can purchase them down there tomorrow afternoon while they're registering from Friday from 4 to 6 and Saturday until weigh-in. So, or you can go online and purchase or make a donation. Here's where you go online on their website here, Season of Hope Outdoors, and you can make donations. You can see you can click on those different things there, and you can get a hold of Michael, and then also you can buy them down there. So 2 ways to get those raffle tickets. But that guided gator hunt now is going to be a lot of fun. So Ben DeZoglio, who's been on the show, has going to be guiding that, I believe. So that's going to be a nice one. All right, let's look at some pictures. Let's go down to Howard Creek. Our buddy Sherwin Prowse, he caught a mess of fish Friday morning. And I replied to this. I said, Sherwin, I don't know what's prettier, the fish or the scenery. And that's the thing about fishing down there on that river. Look at that. That's just beautiful scenery. And you just don't get that much in many other places down off that Weevil system. I just did a week's worth of cardio after walking into a spider web. I've had this on here before, but this time of year, those spider webs are all throughout the woods in late summer. So be aware of that. Here's some more pictures of Sherwin. Look at this. Is that not cool? That's just Mother Nature at its finest right there. And then another one, it looks like just somebody made a signpost. We're going to hang a mailbox or something, but that's all nature down in off of Howard Creek in that area there. All right, now let's look at this coming out of Teloja. This was on a neighbor's game camera at Teloja Creek. It looks like a panther to us. What about you? The tail looks short though. So I wrote back, it sure looks like one to me. Was this recent? Yes, sir, this weekend. So I'm going to zoom in on this. Now, folks, that looks like a panther to me. And, you know, we've talked about panthers before. And I've always been a strong believer there are panthers in this area. And in 1986, in the hunting season of 86, 87, I saw a panther. I know I saw a panther on the Choctawhatchee River system. And that was a long time ago, and I haven't hunted that area quite a while, but I was in a really thick area, and I wish I had a camera with me and taking a picture. Now we have these game cameras. Now I'm not saying that's 100% panther, but it looks like a panther to me. I talked to somebody the other day. I read a little story this guy wrote. He saw a panther. Now here's where the FWC denies any panthers in the Florida Panhandle or this part of Florida, or South Alabama, South Georgia. Although one got run over by a car a couple of years ago in Georgia. To me, I think they're going to be around the Tateshale area. We've talked about this before. You know, we got game cameras around all the farms and all the leases and all our places. A lot of people have game cameras now, so stuff is going to show up. We haven't seen a lot of pictures, but we don't have a lot of game cameras down in Apalachicola National Forest. We don't have a lot of game cameras around Tateshale or over there in Blackwater Forest, and they're going to be in a thick area. So my personal belief is that we have panthers here. And thank y'all for sending that picture to me. And hopefully I'll get to FWC and see what they think. They can come out with an opinion and let us know something. Johnny Sullivan, check out these. Michael Harris, Braden Harris, and Winston Chester. I checked them out. I asked them what size net did they use to catch all these fish with. Isn't that a great mess of fish? Johnny Sullivan, here, I'm going to blow this one up. Johnny's a good fisherman, good outdoorsman. That's a nice mess of fish. Okay. Scott Fitzgerald posted this, and basically what this is a little safety thing. What he was doing was melting lead, and I've done a lot of this in the past. You melt the lead, and you make weights and all, and different things. I used to make a lot of our weights, triangle weights and egg weights. But his went boom, and what happens if you get water, I'm gonna tell you something, if you get water in it, if you drop water in it, or get some rust or something, that will explode on you. So you gotta be really careful if you're doing that lead. If you do it, you pretty well know what you're doing, but this guy, Scott, was experienced, and look at how it splattered. It busted his glasses on the bottom right here. Look where that went through his glasses right there. And so if you're messing with lead, be careful, okay? And the last picture here. Okay, this is our Scott Lindsay from Georgia. He went out with Captain Michael Cowart, Shallowtail, on Saturday 18th. He caught a lot of redfish, caught 20 plus before running from the rain. And Michael Cowart really good. His grandson Brody said, Captain Michael is so cool. This is the best day I ever had. So that's good to hear a 9-year-old saying that. Thank you so much for sending that. All right. And that takes care of our picture. Let's go ahead and take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I'm going to go show you a little 1-minute video. Alan Chasen had this on the Facebook page the other day. I don't show a lot of stuff, but some of it is just fascinating and interesting, and you're going to enjoy this. I'm going to show, all right, we'll go. Alan didn't take this picture. Alan's up there in Grand Ridge, but he had, I don't know exactly where it's taken, but I want you to look at it. You see that deer horns? This guy's in the field. He's approaching this huge deer out in the field, and he's getting closer and closer. You can see those horns. You may not can quite see them on your screen, but as you get closer, there's a huge buck. There he is. All right, so the guy, and the wind is blowing toward the guy. You can tell by the leaves, the wind is blowing toward him, so the deer cannot smell him. So he's being really quiet, and he's froze right now because the deer sort of stuck his head up. This is a great, and that looks like pine trees in the back, so I'm somewhere here in the south. So now he's frozen a little bit. It's only about a minute. It's going to, all right, so now, they're both at a standstill. The deer sort of feels something is wrong, you can tell. He turns ahead, all right, he goes back down. So the guy starts walking again, real slow, and that wind is in his favor, okay? And then, oh, he's closer. The deer started moving toward him. So this is, I mean, look how close he is, this huge buck. This is amazing video. All right, so all of a sudden now what's going to happen? He sticks his head, now he looks up, there he is, and he takes off. Look at him running through there. He makes a big old path, and he is getting out of there. I just wanted to share that with you because, you know, in the outdoors, there's all kind of amazing things that happen. And Alan, like I said, Alan Chasen had that on the other day, and I thought it was fascinating and all. But okay, now I wanted to mention, I went by BJ's Marine the other day, I want to pass this on from Jimmy and BJ. I always enjoy going by there about once a month, and I'll check with those guys. They've been doing BJ Marines about 26 years now. They have a lot of experience, and they've repaired a lot of motors, and I get a kick out of they showed me some of the stuff they're working on, and he asked me to just pass on to y'all this one simple message: maintain your motor. Don't wait till it's tore up and bring it to them. Let them bring it by there and let them work on it and maintain it, change the foot oil, and you know, check it out, jet compression. We're laughing about it. It's like that old STP oil treatment commercial. You know, remember that a long time ago? You can pay me now, you can pay me later. But he showed me some things where, and we're bad about it as consumers. We're going to run that old motor to, oh, it ain't running, I'm going to go get it fixed. But maintain it. Same way with your car and truck. You know, try to maintain it, oil change and all that. But he showed me the spindles where they've just frozen on. And I just want to pass that on here from BJ and Jimmy at BJ's Marine. And like I say, they're well experienced. They work on a lot of motors. And if you don't have somebody working on your motor, take it to them. They're really good. Okay, I want to also mention Captain Roy yesterday. If you caught, hope you caught the show. It was really good to have him on. But it was interesting that one of the things I took from it, he in the 90s and all, and he's fished his whole life, but he didn't really start being a captain and taking people, paying people, until he did as a teenager. Then he worked at a telephone company, then retired, and really became a full-time captain. But he averaged, remember what he said, between 115 and 125 speckled trout every trip in the 90s and early 2000s. Now he's lucky, he said, to get 25 to 35 on a trip. So that just speaks volumes as what's happened. Just speckled trout now, not anything else. And a lot of it, again, goes to water quality. Okay, we'll talk about that. I just want to make sure you got that. Okay, also, I had, ironically, just a couple of days ago, I had a viewer from the Wetapo Creek area, and he was he raised cattle. He moved down here from Oklahoma, trying to decide whether to settle Oklahoma or settle in Wetapo Creek. To me, that's a no-brainer, but he said he's really concerned with what's going on over there. He's afraid, you know, he said he was a cattle rancher out west, and he knows how much, when you have a herd of cattle, how much manure and all washes in the water and all. He's really concerned about that. And he watches our show, and he just said he wanted to pass that on to me, to just be aware of what's going on. Everybody needs to be aware of what's going on all throughout our base system, okay? Speaking of washing off, all this rain we've had, someone mentioned this to me the other day, our ground is really soft, okay? And this is where, if you remember now, we get some strong winds. This is when these big trees fall over. So just be aware of it. If you're out in the woods, you got a big old tree around your house or something, our ground is just really, really wet. If we get a big old storm come blowing through, this is when those root systems give away because they don't have nothing to hold on to. So just be aware of that. One of the viewers mentioned that to me the other day. I really hadn't given it much thought, but after he mentioned it to me, I started, you know, walking around some, and you know, a lot of this ground is really, really soft. All right, I just got a lot of loose things I'm throwing out at you. Hunter safety course. It's going to be in Gulf County, August 25th. The Gulf County Correctional Institute, August the 25th. That's a Saturday from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. All right, I also wanted to, I ran across this the other day. I was driving, and this, I drew this. This is a decal I saw on a truck up there, and I was driving through Lynn Haven. There's a decal hooked on quack, and I wrote down duck. That was my drawing of a duck, but I thought that, you know, it goes along with our theme, getting young people and all kind of people doing outdoor stuff and get them hooked on outdoors. But I thought that was very appropriate for this day and age. Okay. Now another thing I wanted to, let's see, when you're going fishing, take an action picture with you. It will make your catch look amazing. So that's a little action picture, like a little G.I. Joe. All right. The Buckmasters. I talking about getting people outdoors. I got to talk on a Buckmasters trip. I got to talk to Jackie Bushman. He's the founder of Buckmasters. Remember, Ray Scott started Bassmasters, and Jackie Bushman and Ray Scott were in the same hunting and fishing club, and they just were talking, and that's how, you know, that's how they got started. I thought it really neat. Both I've talked to both men over the years, and good quality individuals, and love the outdoors, and have a passion for what they do. And I was asking them about Buckmasters and all. I got a little interview coming up pretty soon with him, but one of the things he brought out, he said, you know, Coach, he said, we got about 12 million hunters, and if everybody would just say, if everybody would just take one person hunting and get them hooked on hunting, we'd have 24 million hunters. It would double, and it's just simple as that. So he, even at his position, and you know, he's a multi-millionaire and all, but he still realizes the importance of getting people out in the woods and hunting and fishing and all. And I just thought that was cool at this point in time. Okay. Also now, FWC is hosting a Deer Manager one-on-one course in Wakulla County, Liberty County, folks. You can go to that. But now they're going to have one here later in the western part of the Panhandle. This is the eastern part of the Panhandle down in Wakulla. But I read this and all. They're going to have one coming up pretty soon in this area here. But Liberty County, folks, this is open for you over there. It's going to be around in Wakulla County, being in Crawfordville. All right, let's take our final break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us today. Let's take a look at our fishing game times. We're looking, this is from Blue Water Outriggers, 10:41 to 12:41, right in the middle of the day. That's a good time right there. Tonight, 11:05 and 1:05. And over again, people tell me, and I see it on almost a regular basis, our water is tea-colored. Be aware of that. People want to get started floundering and all, but you got to get different colored lights to cut through the brown water and all that. So it's going to clear up pretty soon. Remember, in the fall, how pretty and clear everything is. So right now we're in that late summer rainy season. One thing, good news here, our first official duck report, and this is from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Survey. So this is really good when it comes from them. Those folks do a good job on their surveys, and what they're saying, the overall duck numbers in the survey area remain high. They estimated 41.2 million breeding ducks in the traditional survey, but now it's 13% lower than last year's estimate, but it's 17% above the long-term average. So that's good news and bad news. I always said, I will tell my students, you take these figures and all, you write these statistics and everything. I always said figures can lie and liars can figure. So always be aware of that when you read studies and all, but when it comes from a study from a government agency like this, it's pretty strong. And but here's a breakdown. Take a look at the mallard. It's always interested me. That's the first one. The 2018 waterfowl survey, and 2018 is the column on the left, and then on the right is 2017. So they're down. Okay, down a little bit, 9.2, and they're down 12%. The gadwall, we get those down here. Now that was interesting. Look, they're down 31% from last year. But the long-term average on the right-hand column, far right-hand column is the long-term average. They're up 43%. That's interesting. The widgeon hasn't changed. The green-winged teal, and we'll get those teal here, and they're pretty steady. The shoveler we don't get. Now the pintail, I always love the pintail, and they're down some a little bit, but they're minus 40. In fact, if you're looking at long-term, on the far right of the pintail, right there in the middle, I'll try to hold it. Look at there, minus 40. That's the biggest minor of any of that from the long-term average. I don't know what happened to the pintail, okay, but that's bad. The redhead, the third from the bottom, redhead and canvasback are very similar ducks, and they're up 38% from the long-term average. That's good to hear. Well, what happened on redhead? They didn't have any strong limits on them. They put a strong limit on redheads, and that's what happened on those. And then the scaup, that's down here in good shape too. They're down a little bit, but just be aware of that. And also, let's go to something else too. I want you to be aware. We still got some time left in that CCA tag redfish. We're going all the way through the Labor Day weekend. And so far, believe it or not, I'm almost in all of this. There's still only been 2 winners that's been registered, and both of them been in Northwest Florida. We've talked about it before. So with that being said, look at these prizes. Just want to show them to you. Those 2 winners, one of them took a Pathfinder, one took a contender. So those other 3 boats are left, plus that new GMC truck is left. You can win that this week. We got about 10, 11 days left to get on through Labor Day. So be aware. That's just amazing to me that there's still that many left. Okay, also, I'm bouncing around a lot of different stuff, and I go back to hunting. I got a kick out of this, my Buckmaster magazine. They talking about highs and lows. Y'all see the article right there? And what they're talking about, and we've talked about it before the last couple of years, they must have been watching my show to do this article. We're talking about tree stands, whether you get a stand or a ground blind. And I've told you over the past recent years, I've gone more and more to ground blind, and this is a really good article. It's a 3 or 4 page article from this hunter on whether you use a tree stand or a ground blind. And he brought some valid points, the same points we brought up too, the advantages of being up high and the advantage of being down low. And of course the safety, we've gone over them before. I write them down for you and make sure you understand them. But this guy, he got him a big buck out of a tree stand, but he almost froze to death doing it. So, but also while I was up there in Montgomery, there was a lot of these blinds are for sale now. They're manufacturing these, and I've sort of just this last couple of years they started doing. This is one of the places I stopped at. Just a bunch of different. I mean, these are Cadillac models. And then I started looking at the price of them, folks. I was fascinated. This is a price sheet right here. And I told Gail, I said, when I walked over to him, I said, this is what I want Santa Claus to bring me, man. Look at that thing. It's comfortable on the inside. I mean, you think you could just fall asleep up there, and it's amazing. The price of this one, $2,499. Here's one for $1,600. Here's one for $2,700. They had one up there for $3,000, but now they'll probably last a lifetime and all. But they're if you got plenty of money, but they're really good blinds. I was so impressed with the quality how they were built, but they're very expensive. So these are really, I got to thinking driving home, those are really for these big hunting clubs and all where people have paid hunts. But man, that could really spoil you. So with that being said, I came back home and got my old ground blind out. I think I paid $59 for, and make sure it's working good. So I'm gonna use both of them, and I still like that platform stand where you can put stuff on top of it. I didn't see any of those up there. It's interesting. So I may have to order something like that online. So go ahead. We're sort of in the process now of thinking about fall and getting ready for hunting season. When you go to something like that, that gets you sort of fired up. But before we do that, we got to catch that tag redfish. We got a Mexico Beach tournament. We got a speckled trout tournament this weekend. We got to go scalloping. I got a gator hunt. Got all that stuff we got to do first. Y'all have a great day. Thank y'all for watching the show. Do something good for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.